Hi everyone. Welcome to my live stream. This is Diamond Princess with another video. Thank you for coming to my live stream, the Diamondmine, where I host every Sunday with my co-host Jane Mins. Say hi, Jane Mins.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Diamond Mine.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm starting to like this. But anyways, we got some interesting topics here today that no one talks about. And not even women, which I'm going to get into that, you know, later on. But I want to talk about Billie Eilish getting being addicted to porn. So Billie Eilish, God bless her soul, came out recently and said that she began being addicted to porn when she was 8 years old, and she's been traumatized by it ever since. And and what the weird thing is about it, when you start naming off different, categories of porn, like straight porn, gay porn, lesbian, BSDM, or whatever it is. When you start naming off categories in porn, that means you watched porn. You watched it. So
Yeah,
I was like, this poor girl, because she's barely came into adulthood. She's 19. I think she's already turned 20, because I think her birthday was sometime. It's either going to be sometime this week or next week, or it was last week. But she was talking about how it ruined her and her childhood, and that, and how she was addicted to these images, and it was hard for her to stop. And now that she's a recovering pornaholic, she's coming out and she's speaking her her piece. So to speak on, Billie Eilish, she's really brave coming out like this and speaking her mind, because not everybody's gonna come out and say they're porn addicted like that, especially to no strangers. So
yeah,
when you're, dealing with a porn addiction, when you first get exposed to porn, it's kind of hard because, for one, you know sex is a big thing. It's everywhere. It's on billboards. It's, on your TV. It's everywhere. Porn. I wouldn't say hardcore porn. I would say soft porn is everywhere. You see it in your animes, and people, when it comes to, cartoons, it's there. I see it. I don't know if everybody else seen it. I think they're blind to it, but you can see it in cartoons where there is soft porn going on and people are not seeing it.
yeah,
So when a person gets exposed for the first time watching porn, it's very hard to stop the addiction, because it's like, you see it, that is wrong, but you can't stop watching it because it's so addictive. You love to see people, people ramming each other, against their headboard. You like seeing people tied up and doing and shit, and stuff like that. It's kind of, you know something that you cannot help. And I was watching another YouTuber, and she was and she was right. When people get addicted to porn, first, when people get into porn, the first thing you see is straight porn of a guy and a girl, right? And once you get addicted to that, you start going on to the next, and it's probably like anal. Let's say
ugh,
anal. Yeah. And it could go from anal to BS, whatever, when people tie themselves up and whatnot. It can get into that, and then you go into gay porn, then you go into lesbian porn, and then you go into strap on porn, and you go into, fiendom, it's all these categories that you go into because you got too far ahead in that. And it goes beyond that. And people don't want to admit it, but the highest, and I'm going to say this, the highest watch porn, and people are not going to admit this, is gay porn. That's the most watched porn that is being watched right now, is gay porn.
Now, are we talking like, like women or men or just both?
Okay, so gay porn is usually man on man.
Ah, I got you.
Yeah, that's the
Not
most.
not my cup of tea. No offense to anyone who's gay, but then again, I don't swing that way.
And then the next one, and quote me if I'm wrong. The next one is the tied up one, the BSBDM. I don't know. I can't. But
I've
anyway,
never heard of I've never heard of anything called BSBM or BM or whatever. That's the first
yeah,
I've
that's
heard of it
when
too.
they tie up people and they start spanking them, whipping them, and then they go into the sex,
Right.
and it could go both anal or vaginal.
Yeah.
Depending on what the content is. And they
Right.
usually have, it's either the man is tied up or the woman. It's mostly women that get tied up and they're being dominated. But there are men.
Oh, you mean dominatrix, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's yeah.
But there are, men that do get dominated. I do look it up. There are men that do get dominated. But this is a topic that people don't talk about. And the demographic at that time, 20 years ago, men were the highest watchers of porn back in the day.
Mm,
And now, when we fast forward 20 years later, women are the highest watchers of porn, um,
yeah.
by I think 36%. It's rising. It's rising. It's getting close. It's rising because you have a lot of single women out there that that are sexually frustrated and they don't have a man. So what they turn to, they turn to porn. But just to
Just like with men to get their jollies up,
yeah.
even if they
But
don't
let me
have
tell you,
jollies.
but let me tell you what happens when you get too addicted. It starts coming from your home to the public. Let's say, for instance, your job, a theme park where there's a bunch of children. It does it whatever. But the main thing you do not want to take porn is at your job, because that's where the place where
Exactly.
you work. You have to concentrate, and on your mind is sex, 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 sex. So I heard a story of a guy. He was so far into porn, like he just couldn't get himself out of it. So what ended up happening is he started whipping out his phone. Instead of just going to the bathroom and doing his thing, he takes his phone out in front of all of his employees and start watching porn. And
Mm,
I'm just sitting there, and he lost his job behind that. Which I don't you know like people losing their jobs, but come on, there's a place and a time to watch porn, and that's in your home, the privacy of your home.
yeah.
And a lot of people, and this is
Truth
and this is majority of men.
truth be told, I don't encourage people to watch porn,
Hmm.
even if they want to do it at home, because like if all you want is sex, 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 then there's always a chance for you to find it out there. But again,
Hmm.
I'm nobody's therapist or nobody's sexual counselor or whatever they call it nowadays, because I know nothing about sex because I never once had it
Here's the
yet.
thing. Yeah, and don't do it yet unless you get married.
Yeah, that's the mindset I go with.
Yeah, but it does end up going, outside the world when man gets, go to prostitutes, they go to strip clubs because porn is so addictive. The porn industry is $1 billion industry.
Oh yeah.
At
In
least,
fact,
go
I
ahead.
think also with a certain porn star who also goes by the character named Belle. There was actually a little bit of a mini documentary on it on YouTube where she watched herself, a little bit, but is kind of, embarrassed a little bit. But
Hmm.
at the same time, what I've learned is that in the porn industry that you have to take certain tests in order to, like blood tests and a lot of work before you start doing it, as it were, for the camera and all that. But however, the money that you make in the porn industry happens to be a lot. And I didn't know, you could get that paid that much to do it,
Hmm.
on like on a porn, setup than you could do in Hollywood. Because
Yeah,
it's like people are, highly addicted to watch you do it with someone else. It's like they're that hungry.
yeah. And the sad thing about it is porn is free online. It's very free. Hello, Garcia.
They should give them mental tests too. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's
they.
also it's also a psychological problem as well of it being, a sexual problem too, when they're getting addicted to porn.
Here's the thing. I discovered porn when I was 8 years old, and it was by accident because, you know, people don't think how it would affect children in their daily lives. But it wouldn't be 8 years later till I found out. Well, it's more than years later. Into my adulthood, I found out porn was free, and I was like, usually people have to go to the stores and get the VHS tape to go see it. I never heard of it being free online. Like, that, and to me, that is very problematic because kids have free access to the internet now, and they can actually look up porn and watch free videos.
Hey Nick, how you doing? But yeah,
Because kids, they don't know better, and parents don't block the internet access to porn because they feel like their child is not going to know what porn is and whatnot, but it actually happens.
to be honest with you, when it comes down to the internet, nobody's safe, not even children,
Hmm.
not unless you're watching them properly.
And parents are not watching them
Mm-hmm.
because
And
they
that's
feel like
saddening.
their kid doesn't know.
Oh,
Parents
oh,
are being
oh, but
ignorant. Go
and
ahead.
that's a key word there, ignorant. We got too many ignorant parents nowadays.
Yeah, because they feel
Like,
like. But here's the thing: even if the parents do block internet porn access on their computer, kids can access it somewhere else. Let's say by a friend. They have a friend and they go to their house. Internet, everything is accessed. Nothing is blocked. Your children is still gonna be uh still it's gonna be discovering sex. So here's what the parents have to do: sit down and talk to your children about about sex and how it works, and what's the consequences of that, because you have to sit down and tell your child, you do not want to do this because you're not ready for it. And having sex irresponsibly can lead to
yeah,
consequences. And that's something
it's
that you
true.
have to sit down and talk to your child about once they get exposed to it. Because it's something that, we do not want to, have the next generation grow up and being addicted to porn, because a lot of pedophiles they watch these, these what's it called? These tied up, porn videos when a woman
Oh
gets
my,
tied up and
yeah,
and all that stuff. They actually have fantasies about that.
yeah.
And
But when you say pedophile, you're talking about child molesters.
or men that rape women, both.
Well, well, well. The thing is, even I think pedophiles themselves have sick fantasies like that about kids too.
Mm-hmm. Because there's let you know, there's child porn out there.
Oh my God, yeah.
And and you got to be careful too, because I've been hearing a lot of people, being caught with child porn, aka what's that Subway guy, Jared?
Yeah, Jared Fogle.
Yeah, he got caught with child porn. And that's the scariest thing to, to be for your child to be traumatized by. And these are
Yeah.
kids that are being sex trafficked. This is no joke. These are actually kids that are being sex trafficked out here. And what gets me mad about the FBI, they're not even trying to search for these kids or even trying to identify who these kids are. Okay, you finding, child porn on the internet. Who are these kids? Are you going to find them? Are you going to send them back to their parents? And speaking of parents, you may never know. Parents are involved in this too. They're involved with this, selling their kids out just to get a couple of bucks. Just for instance, R. Kelly.
It's so funny you bring up the federal government. The FBI. They actually, have some certain child porn sites set up to where they'll even, try to see if they'll even disguise themselves as a minor in order to fool the predator in order to catch them.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, as tricky and as sick as it is, still, I mean, it's got to be done one way or the other in order to catch the bad guys, as it were. But
Mhm.
in the end of the day, it is sick nonetheless.
Let me tell you something.
Hold on, one more thing. China banned porno online. It was banned in the USA back in the day too. Funny how China can ban porno over there, but not ban the ability of eating dogs, cats, or rats over there. Maybe even bats. So yeah.
I don't think porn is banned in the United States, or else they wouldn't have free porn.
Well, it used to be banned back in the day because it wasn't really a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the old school, people didn't talk about their sex lives.
No.
In fact, they never bragged about it, which is pretty much a good thing because the more you brag about how many times you have sex or how well you do in bed, you're pretty
Mm-hmm.
much built. You're like stroking your ego, other than just
Mm-hmm.
stroking, your dick, as it were. If you catch my drift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something. Like, a lot of porn stars go into this industry not because it's fun, it's the trend to do or anything. They do it because they have bills to pay. They have to pay their bills. Things are expensive nowadays. They have to, pay something. And there was this one porn star, and her family came out and they ridiculed her for doing ghetto gaggers, right?
Ugh.
Yeah, they ridiculed her for doing ghetto gaggers and getting like what, 2,000 to $200,000 per video, right? And her family oust her, saying that they're ashamed and all that stuff. Okay, fine, you can be ashamed. That's on you. But you cannot shame this girl for making a decision to pay her bills. Like, what does that has to do with you? Why do you have to go online and call your own granddaughter out just because she did a porn video? She didn't do it
Yeah.
just because it was fun and it was a thing to do. She did it because she needed the money.
Yeah.
Porn
I
is a
mean,
job. Porn is a job. It's not something to do.
as an but it's also in a way now. as a Christian, I don't condone pornography to like to be encouraged to anybody. But I will say though, at the end of the day, there's nothing really I can do about it real world per se, but it is an occupation where you make money off of. But even though some people pay you amount of money just to see your body,
it's sex work, just like being a stripper.
I mean, it is kind of perverted for people to having to pay you so much money in order for you to do what you do in bed. But still, at the end of the day, I can't deny anyone for trying to, make income.
Yeah, because come on, like
just because someone does a porno, I'm not going to condemn them, but I kind of understand why they're that desperate. But if it were me in that situation, I wouldn't be that desperate to make money. To be honest, I wouldn't, be paid enough to have sex on camera.
Not everybody is the same. Not everybody thinks like J-Man. Everybody thinks as an individual.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm just thinking individually too, just so to speak.
Yeah, it's just that they chose to go in this industry because it's fast money.
Right. Right. They did that because, again, like you said, fast money, and they wanted it, and they'll get it.
Yeah, porn is demonic.
Yeah, FBI is full of
but it's not illegal.
Sick. Yeah, I agree with that. And you know what? It is demonic. Yes, that is true. But that's the problem. Some people just don't care if it's demonic or not. If they're gonna get enough money to make ends meet, they're gonna do whatever it takes, even if they have to whip. If a man's gonna whip his dick out in order to make over $100,000 in cash, and just to put it in a woman's mouth or vagina, he's gonna do it. I mean, people are that desperate for money.
Yeah,
it's like prostitution, only different.
Yeah. Speaking of men, women are put on the forefront of, the porn videos and whatnot. But I don't hear nobody shaming the men because the men are participating in this. So we sitting up here, shaming the women for going, on these videos trying to make money. These men are the ones that are participating in it. Why are people calling out the men that are perpetuating and keep going with this? You see, here's the thing that pissed me off when it comes to gender. Everybody likes to pick on the woman and shame on the woman just because she made a decision to, do something. But when it's a guy, it's like he's being looked over at the situation. Nobody calls him out on his BS for participating in porn. Let me tell you guys something.
Keep in mind, I'm not going to speak on the guy's defense. I mean, I'm going to let you go all out.
People would like to go after the women because women are more easy to shame and whatnot. But let me tell you something.
Let's not also forget they can be easy manipulated too.
Here's the thing.
No offense. I was just, I'm speaking
Guys perpetuate. The guys are the ones that watch these porns. And they're the ones that are trying to shame these women for doing it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. When these guys are sitting up here, they're talking about this woman going on ghetto gaggers, selling her body to a white man for money and all that stuff. When you guys are the same people that watch this porn, ghetto gaggers is not going nowhere. Okay? Unless somebody's, make a partition to take ghetto gaggers down, it's not going nowhere. Why? It's because it's getting high rated views by men, by all races, including black men. So don't come up here on YouTube saying that, this woman sold herself out to get a couple of change. That was wrong. It makes black women look bad. Dude, every woman on this porn is doing it. It's not just black women. Black women are the minority that is doing porn.
Yeah.
The majority of women that's doing porn is white women that are doing porn.
Some minority of them are also Hispanic too, or Asian.
Yes, Yeah, there's some reason everybody likes to pick on black women. It's like leave us alone and let us be. If this woman wants to make money off the porn, fine, let her do it. What's that got to do with you? You're gonna be watching it anyways.
'Tis true.
And porn ain't going nowhere, so you might as well just sit back and enjoy the ride. Because I know you are, because you're gonna be jacking off to it.
I was gonna say they're gonna be enjoying that ride, all right.
Yeah, there are, because the reason why these men are mad is because they're not in these men's positions that are on these porno videos. They're not in their position.
Well, yeah, well, they would fantasize to be in different positions, if you know what I mean.
God. Yeah,
But it's true. They're the ones watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the ones watching it, and they're the same ones complaining about it. It's like, dude, like,
it's kind of funny how they want to complain about men, or actually, no, excuse me, they would want to complain about women being in them, but yet you don't complain about a man watching it on his computer screen or his television set. Kind of very hypocritical when you think about it.
It is very hypocritical. I was just about to say that. That is very hypocritical to call out.
Okay, so a man is able to watch porn, but a woman is not able to, do anything that could be like video prostitution. Well, if that's the case, why not just ban porn and ban prostitution altogether? If we're
clubs.
Yeah,
watch these men fall apart. Watch them fall apart. They're gonna be protesting. Oh, they're taking away our porn. They're taking away our strip clubs. They're banning prostitution. Watch. They will have their signs out.
Yeah. They'll be calling us, cancel culture. Endorsers and all that. And to be honest with you, the thing is, they'd be the ones that would bring it to that. In fact, here's a funny story. There's some certain actresses in the porn industry that don't even confirm their real age. Like, they claim to be 18, but they're actually 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet some of you guys, you could say you accidentally jacked off to it, but yet you ejaculated to that nonetheless. And even if you didn't know ahead of time.
These girls are looking like they're underage. Most of those girls look like they're underage.
Plus, here's another fun fact. Yes, even though if the girl were to lie about her age, at the end of the day, you had a choice whether or not to jack off to her, whether you didn't think she was 18 or not.
You guys need to watch out when they said, teenagers, teens, and 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and all that stuff.
And then you find out the lie is actually that this kid is actually 16 or 17.
Some of those girls look younger than that.
Some can be very deceptive. Let's put it that way. Like, if they're going to do whatever, like, it's like what you said earlier. If they're going to make money off of it, no matter what.
Yes, they are.
Even if it means having to deceive, people by lying about your age.
Exactly.
As sick as that sounds.
Yeah, porn, it has a lot of answering to do. But here's what I suggest you guys to do. If you guys are, if you guys are addicted to porn and you guys don't know how to wean yourself off of it, here's what you do. When you guys are horny or you guys feel horny, meditate. That's the best thing you guys can do is meditate. And try to get it out of your system. I know it's hard. It is not easy.
And we don't expect everyone to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't all expect everyone to be, fixed just like that. If anything, we're probably trying to tell you these things in order to help better yourself.
Right.
We're not trying to take away anything from you. But then again, think of it like this. Better for you to stop ejaculating to something you're seeing on your computer screen or your television set and lose your ability to actually, pardon me when I say this, to actually come, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But either
Yeah.
way,
You don't, just be careful. Like if you go and watch porn, be careful what you're watching because there's some things that needs to be reported.
and there's some things that need to be called out on too.
Yeah. But moving on to the next topic, Sweetie or Swanee or whatever you want to call her. People.
Swanee.
Oh my god! Like she did a Jingle Ball performance. I think either 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it a week ago? Who knows? I don't know. I don't go to these concerts. These whack ass
I
concerts.
I don't go to concerts. I mean, I've never been to a concert. It's only wrestling events.
I went to the first concert I went to was J Lo. That wasn't bad. J Lo and Mark Anthony. That wasn't bad. And that was like almost like 10 years ago. But other than that, um, her performance was whack. Okay, all she does was doing was rapping and walking around the stage while her dancers were the ones holding it down along with her DJ. Sweetie or Swanee, whatever you want to call her, she wasn't
Smitty
really
and Swanee.
she wasn't really doing anything, and she's the main attraction on that stage. Don't get me wrong,
Wow.
she looks hell of good. Nails, outfit, makeup on fleek, but her performance was whack. She wasn't really doing anything. She was just sitting there, saying, uh, put your chains up for your icy chain. It was like, dude, what are you doing? And she
Mm.
just waving her hands around and the fans are twerking and she's throwing icy chains. But girl, what are you doing? I know you have plenty of time to work a choreography when they told you somewhere in October that they were going to have a Jingle Ball fest and you were, invited to perform. You had all that time to rehearse. All that time. But instead, you were just walking around on stage, standing there like you're doing something when you actually not. All you do is rapping your own songs. And then on top of that, to throw in insult, she had a challenge called the Icy Challenge or whatever, where you sit there and you twerk on stage or whatnot.
Hmm.
And people were calling her out on it, on her bad performance. But the one thing that people were really calling her out on it was her ass. Her ass was not jiggling at all. It was just stiff. Because when you twerk, when a woman's twerk, your ass is supposed to move back and forth. It's supposed to jiggle, right? Her ass was not jiggling. It was just sitting there. And it looks like she was not doing nothing.
Hmm.
And that's silicone. Let me tell you about silicones. It doesn't work. It it doesn't last that long. Okay, that shit was stiff, and she needs to get it redone. But her performance was trash, and people were saying that the only reason why she became famous is because she was, you know, light brown and she was pretty.
Light brown and pretty, huh?
Light brown and pretty.
So basically, she was Hispanic, right?
No, she's black.
Oh, she. Oh, sometimes when I think of light brown or light or somewhat tan, I think of Hispanics. No, nothing.
I think Hispanics, their color is like tan, kind of. If you're thinking about the lighter skin in Spanish,
Yeah.
yeah, they're no, not the lighter skins, but let me tell you something. It kind of irks me that you know these rappers become famous for no reason whatsoever. I never understood that. And to make insult to injury, UFC hire Sweetie to be a professor at their college to teach what you call it, media or whatever she got a degree in, because she got a degree in that field, which is
Right.
okay. there's nothing wrong with that. She earned her degree and whatnot, good for her. But here's the thing: does she have experience in the field that she got the degree from?
Good question.
Because for what all we know is Sweetie, we know her as a rapper. That's it. We don't know her as nothing else but a rapper. And it kind of like, got me into a question because I'm just like, you could have hired somebody that actually worked in that field for like 20 to, and 20 or more years, or, something like that. Sweetie does not have that kind of experience for her to even, get into that field, to even become a professor. I was just mind blown when I heard that. I was like, oh my God, like who? Oh goodness. What do you think, J Mass?
Honestly, maybe she need a better concentration of what she's trying to do with her performance. But other than that, it's again her profession she needed a little, not tweak, but a little twerk into her performance. But I don't pay attention to concerts that much or rappers, but I do
Yeah,
know entertainment. Speaking of
yeah, she.
entertainment, I want to talk about something.
Yeah, go
Have
ahead.
you played have you ever played video games?
Yeah,
All right. Which one did you grow up with?
I grew up with Grand Theft Auto, Mario Brothers, Sonic the Hedgehog, WWE.
Well,
Um,
I actually, well, for Christmas, I actually got myself a new N64 console, and the one game I wanted to get, while I'm collecting others, because I already have a few game packs as it is, but they're packed up for the time being. But I will, release them as soon as I can. However, I wanted to play Super Mario 64, and I needed to get a new console because it was, like the console that I already had wouldn't want to work right for some reason. So I
um,
decided to get a new one for Christmas, which was
mhm,
brought with two other games. But also the game I wanted was also brought Super Mario 64. Now that this game to me is like like a favorite of mine, like a childhood. You know,
mhm,
I never, because when I was a little kid, I'd say maybe 3, 4 years old when I started playing the N64, because that was a time when it was, white freaking hot, back
mhm,
when, the 3D was starting to become a buzz in the video game industry. So
mhm,
what happened was, is that I decided to, think of what other video games out there for the N64 than Mario has been best selling, because Super Mario 64 is the number one best selling video game of all time. It has never been beaten before, because its last sale of when it was last sold was in 2003. And I figured, other than that being number one, what are other top best sellers?
mhm,
So I also did a topic of this, like on R&R
mhm,
before. And by R&R, I mean Rant and Rave Podcast, which you can catch every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my friend Brendan Martin's channel. Just type
mhm,
in rant, then space, and then put in a big N, and then space, and then rave podcast. So if you want to see that, I don't know which episode it was when I discussed this as a topic, but I want to
mhm.
discuss top 10 best-selling N64 games right here on this show.
Mm.
Hang on one second. Selling Nintendo. Oh.
Oh, you talking about those Nintendo 64? Oh my God, those things used to burn out along with the Sega Genesis.
Actually, it doesn't burn out. It's just that you need to take proper care of it.
Yeah, the Sega Genesis. I remember my brother used to have those, and he had to replace them real quick because they will only last for a month, and after a month you have to replace it. It was just like, and it was a lot of money.
Um, that's because the technology wasn't, as advanced or taken care of as it was back in the day. But anyway, coming at number 10 is made by Rareware, who was also very credible for making the Donkey Kong Country trilogy on the Super Nintendo. Coming at number 10 for the N64 bestsellers is Banjo Kazooie. And it's actually a pretty good game. I played it on an emulator, but I'm also going to buy a cartridge for it, the game pack for it. I've already got its sequel, Banjo Tooie, which is also on the list of top best sellers for the N64. Coming at number 9 is Star Fox 64. I haven't played that game yet, but I think it might be worth.
I heard of
worth
Star
playing.
Fox before. I heard of it.
That machine is so old. More like console, but then again, machine, whatever you want to call it.
Nene. How you doing, Renee? That's my
And,
sister. Mm-hmm.
oh wait, that's your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8. I've already played a little bit of this, but I don't have the game for it. Is number 8 is Diddy Kong Racing, made by Rareware again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming at number 7, which I also own, and it actually is a good game. And it also came in with the N64 console, as a like what do they call it? Like a game was bundled with the N64 console during its lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Is number 7 is Donkey Kong 64.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like that game. That's the only game where you actually could play as Lanky and Chunky Kong. But as for Tiny Kong, that wouldn't be the only appearance she made in there, but still. Coming at number 6 is Pokemon Stadium. Haven't played that game yet, but it was also a bundle for the N64 console itself. Now, as we get to the top 5, Super Smash Brothers, the very first one, released back in 1999. And I actually have played it. I'm going to get it for the console as well, but it's a good game. I played it both emulator, virtual console, a whole 9 yards. It's pretty good. Number 4, which is one of my favorites right here, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time at number 4. And it's practically one of the greatest N64 games of all time, not just by being, sold a lot, but by its, creation, because it was actually the first open field game in the Zelda, video game, series.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, created by Where is actually something you might be familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is GoldenEye 007. It also came as a bundle with the N64. Number 2, which is another which is another favorite of mine, Mario Kart 64. And as you all know, at number 1 is Super Mario 64. And guess how many sales that Super Mario 64 made?
What?
11,910,000 sales.
Wow. My sister wants to know was Mario Brothers in the countdown? I love Mario Brothers.
For the Nintendo 64, well, kinda. I mean, like Mario, somewhat. Let me see. Only 2 of them, maybe 3 if you count Smash Brothers, because it's like
Oh my god, I love Smash Brothers on Nintendo 64. Oh my god, I love that.
You could play as Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Yoshi, Kirby, Star Fox, Samus.
They have it on what you call it? Different games now. They had it on Nintendo Switch. I believe they have it on Nintendo. Wait a minute, no Xbox. Yeah, Xbox. What you call it?
The Xbox 360, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, that's like I think they're doing another thing. It's just kind of a spin-off of or their own version of Smash Brothers, because I think most of these companies are wanting to do their own version of Smash Brothers, like whether it's All Stars or whatever you want to call it. And truth be told, I think it's just that some people are running out of original ideas.
Yeah, but I love Mario Smash Brothers. That was my game.
Oh yeah, Super Smash Brothers. Not gonna lie, I think the first characters you play are, and I'm trying to remember. I think the first characters you play before you unlock Luigi, uh, Captain Falcon,
Or you can
Jigglypuff,
play
and
as
Ness.
you can play as the Pokemon trainer.
Oh, you're talking about Super Smash Brothers Brawl
Mm-hmm.
for Nintendo Wii. I actually like that game. That's
Yep.
actually the first game where you actually had, cinematic cutscenes,
Mm-hmm.
and its story, the Subspace Emissary.
Oh
Not gonna lie,
man,
that stuff was dope.
it is dope. Oh my god. Oh my god. I gotta get that game again. I gotta get it. Because I love that game. And they Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto was, my other game. Like I like Grand Theft Auto 3. I like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I love Grand Theft Auto Los Santos. And there was supposed to be another Grand Theft Auto that's supposed to come up in the upcoming years. They probably haven't finished it yet. But
Yeah.
and this is just a rumor. I heard that there are supposed to they were supposed to have a female antagonist in that game.
Hmm.
Because you know how in Grand Theft Auto they have all male antagonists. I heard they're supposed to have a female now.
Well, we're trying not to genderize anymore, apparently. Even though I did not, even though, yeah, I didn't even know that was a word in the dictionary. Oh, wait, it's not.
Because my favorite video game is Vice City because I love the graphics and the storytelling was awesome. Don't get me wrong, I love Grand Theft Auto Los Santos too, but that was,
Yeah.
but I like to keep it old school. Um, Vice City was, pretty dope. It was pretty dope.
I think, a lot of people are like, I don't know which Grand Theft Auto game has been resold or redone. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
been Grand Theft Auto 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh.
God, I think that game has gotten so many remakes. Like, it's got, well, I couldn't say it's in comparison, but I think Metal Gear Solid 3 has more remastered and re-releases than Grand Theft Auto 4.
Uh,
I mean, I'm like, I get it. I mean, it's a great game, but if you give it too much re-releases, then sometimes it may lose value.
oh.
Like, I mean, as much as a classic it is, you have to understand that, if you want to play the game, play it on its original console,
Mhm.
and then, yeah, that way you'll never have to stop playing it. Just keep having fun over and over again, which is a good choice.
I don't like the Grand Theft Auto 4 that much. It really didn't catch, my attention like that. But I do like, only 3 Grand Theft Auto games. That's it. But 4 did not catch my eye. But the other games that I like, let's go into WWE. Like
All right.
WWE has improved over the years. My first WWE was SmackDown. Just bring it for PlayStation 2 because I had a PlayStation 2 back in the day.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. So did I, but then I got a new one, because my dad sold the other one because he wanted to get an Xbox 360 back then when it was hot. As a matter of fact, the Xbox 360 actually, lasted longer than any other console. I mean, like a decade. That's a long time, bro.
yeah, it is. Uh, but WWE was was a shit. I used to play that like every weekend. Like every weekend, I used to used to play it. I was like, the best thing about it is that we get to create our players.
Oh, create a superstar.
Yeah, create a superstar, and that was my best moment because I liked it. The storyline was like so dope. You get to see your character in action. It's like actually seeing WWE in real life, but it's on a video game. You know,
Yeah. You
and now
mean like season mode?
yes, but now fast forward 20 years later, now you got WWE 2020 or whatever, or 2019
More
2K.
more Yeah, 2K. I'm not gonna lie to you. 2K19 was actually was not that bad. It was actually a great one,
Yeah.
but 2K20 was complete and utter garbage.
Yeah, they
I'm
kind of
not.
look like they rushed it.
It's not that they rushed it. There are reasons why it looked god awful. Like first off, they had Uke leaving. Second of all, they had employees from 2K quitting on the project, and
Uh-huh.
because they couldn't use Uke's code to help the graphics and all the other problems. And on top of that, another three thing, even Sony itself said it was a bad game and it was doomed from the start.
Yeah, they should have worked on it a little bit more.
You know
So
what I
that
would have done? You know what I would have done? I would have just canceled, the original concept and start from scratch and delay it
yeah,
because they wouldn't have gotten done in time.
no, exactly, no, no, it wouldn't. But my thing is like the whole graphics to me was just horrible. They changed a lot of stuff that they should have kept in from 2019. And not only that, the game keeps crashing. That
Yeah,
was
2K20 had that narrative too to crash. However, if you were playing it with, like superstars that were already in the game and not created superstars, you wouldn't
uh-huh.
have these experiences. However, there were certain moments and certain times in the game or on certain matches or characters that would happen.
Right. I just couldn't get into it. I stopped playing it after like 5 tries. I was like, I did not like it
With
at all.
with 2K20, me and my dad, we downloaded it twice, even though with some
Mhm.
few things. But here's the thing: they had so many patch notes that it looked like that it was long enough than a dictionary, and
Mm,
even that couldn't satisfy the player nor us, for example,
yeah.
because it was that bad.
So I'm just like, I was just like, well, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with 2K19.
Yeah, because that game, even and some people can mod it too to almost look better than what it already does.
Yeah.
And by the way, also the storyline for the my career. Let's just say the
Mhm.
characters in it wasn't really as cracked up as they should have been. Like
Mhm.
except for the Buzz storyline, that one was pretty better than the storyline we get for 2K20.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2K20 needed a lot of work. A lot of work. I couldn't stand it. I was like, ugh, it really frustrated me. I still have the game though. I never took it back. But anyways, I probably
Yeah,
gonna sell.
yeah, yeah.
I probably gonna sell.
Instead of cursing someone else to the thing, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, so I was just like, well, I got my 2K19. That's all that matters to me.
I don't know if 2K22 will make a difference, but then again, one can only hope.
hmm
But the one thing I'm looking forward to is the AEW video game that'll be coming out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be really critical because I expect them, to do good on the first try.
Well, they do have a lot of good things with that game. I mean, there's a lot to come when we play that one too. but I only hope they do it right and not be sloppy about it like, 2K were, because they were too ignorant and too rushed to get the project out there. But then again, they realized they were screwed, but they didn't care. They were just going to get people's money no matter what.
Uh,
Well,
but
it worked. It worked. They got
well, I
money.
want to get, but before I buy AEW game, you know what I do before I buy video games? I see other online people like on YouTube. The YouTube critics on these games. I usually get their opinion on it first to see whether or not the game is worth buying or whatever. And
Yeah,
I was just like, just to get a review so I will not waste my money.
yeah,
And that's a good thing for me because it saves money in my pocket, it keeps money in my pocket, and I don't have to waste a thing.
that's
But
probably smart.
yeah, but you know what's interesting when video games have evolved a lot, during my lifetime living on this earth, and you can add mods to the game. Like, let's say, for instance, Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto Los Santos is a very popular game. And people will use mods. Let's say, for instance, you get skins for like, Marvel skins or DC or, any other type of skins you can play with. You
Yeah,
get cool cars, like sports cars or whatever. What else? Because I see these because I'm subscribed to a few gamers on this YouTube platform. Who else? What else? There's a family mod. Oh, I love the family mod on Grand Theft Auto because you have you have children in these mods now, and they have a school. It's just like, dang, man, I want to, do this so bad, so bad, so bad. But you
yeah,
have to be careful with these mods because when you get cheap mods, it messes up your game. Like, for real.
true.
You have to be careful where you download, certain mods from on these platforms because you have to be honest. Some of these mods have viruses on them,
Yeah,
and you do not want to do that. So be careful, do your research before you start downloading mods on video games. um, your YouTuber will let you know how to get the real mods. They usually have the link down below in their description page. Go and and download it from there because they know what they're talking about. Don't go online and get some random mods on a website that could, steal your information off your computer. Be careful with that.
yeah. You're telling the truth on that one.
Yeah, just be careful on that. You don't want to mess, your computer up because they do once they download uh their got your information, the viruses stay on your computer and it messes it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a reason why you're offered, some, virus, protection stuff too, like
Hmm.
immediately after you get a laptop or whatever, because they automatically put those in the laptop in order for you to order a service
Hmm.
sometimes to pay for it. You get a free, trial for it, but then when the
Hmm.
trial's expired, then you decide whether or not you want the virus protection thing or not.
Yeah. It's already installed, but it depends how good it is. If you want to keep it, if the virus installment does not work, I advise you to get another one. McAfee is really good. Um, and there's others too, VPNs and all that stuff. They're really good.
Mm,
Hmm.
So, but also speaking of wrestling games, other than just AEW, there's also the coming out of W2K22, which will also be released sometime in March, and this will happen before WrestleMania, which will be on another 2-night event. It, just like last year and this year's WrestleMania, which I hate to admit. However, I think this will probably be the last time we have a 2-night WrestleMania event, for a long time. But however, there's another possibility that that from what I've heard, that they are probably going to be returning back to the Thunderdome, thing, because of the new part of the COVID pandemic, as it were. And apparently there's like an Omicron variant now.
I don't know much about things like that, but
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like people are just using that as a scare tactic. I think the media has done their damnedest and have succeeded into scaring the casual public and everyone else into wanting to take this all in order to not let us enjoy what we want. Like, it's like they're all claustrophobic, themselves. They don't want being.
People are going to get tired of these variants coming out because people are going to start catching on, and people are sick of it.
First we have the Delta. Now it's Omicron. You know what? I don't know about you, but I feel like they might be trying to spell something. When they're doing these certain variants, as it were. I don't mean to
interrupt, but they sound like computer viruses.
You know what I think? Here's what I think. Last time it was Delta, or the original, then the last time it was Delta. Now we've got Omicron. You know what they'll probably do next?
What?
They'll probably do one that starts with N, and then the next one will be with A, and then the next one will be with L, and guess what will the last one be? It'll go right back to Delta. And you know what they're going to spell?
What?
Donald.
Donald who?
You know which Donald I'm talking about.
You don't like him that much?
I like Trump. I have no problem with Trump. I just know this. If there's one thing I know, they'll probably spell that. They'll probably just use all that, all those variants of, the certain, alphabet, of code to try and, pin this on Trump again, even though he had nothing to do with this.
But
I mean,
I think everybody that's that has a higher position, mostly billionaires, I think they know what they're doing. They try to keep control of the people and keeping them scared and keep them under control so they can have them under their wings and keep people under their wings and keep them under control and whatnot. But here's the thing, like, people are going to start, disliking them.
Yeah. But the one thing you can't hate about Trump is that when he was in presidency, he treated America like a business. And to be honest with you, it was actually good the way how he did it. The stocks were good. In fact, what he did during his tenure as president, he actually did it better than anyone before him. Not to blow smoke, but in a sense, it's a fact.
Right.
Like, if you were to treat America like a business, then maybe a few things would actually, change in regards to the stocks, and all the other, health cares and whatnot.
But here's
they want to blame everything on them, and they don't want to take responsibility for what they do.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Going back to Bush. Like, when Bush came into office, and I don't know how bad the economy was because I was just a kid, but looking back and doing my history on it, the economy was always going to shits when Bill Clinton was impeached. But
and because he was having because he had a white office intern give him a BJ.
Yeah, we all know who she is, and we made her popular too. Like, oh gosh. But anyways, we're getting far off, But
Yeah.
when Bush came into office, the economy got so much worse, and I really did hate on him for it because he did not do anything to improve the economy and get it back on track. It just got worse because he got money hungry. Let's say that, and he wanted the oil. All it is was the oil. It wasn't an attack on terrorism. I don't believe the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and I don't mean to go conspiracy theory on my channel because I really don't do that. But I think that attack was an excuse to go to war for nothing with another country just because we want to take control over something that doesn't even belong to us.
Well,
Because
some people are going to do whatever it takes to get what they want. I don't
uh-huh.
know if it is true or not regards to his case, but I will point out that some people are not to be denied of the gas to run their cars or whatnot,
Hmm.
I mean, I mean, like, there are some also other reasons why, why the Japanese attacked, Pearl Harbor,
They want to
I
bring the
mean, like,
United States in the war.
no, it's not just that. They wanted it. I mean, they also attacked for various reasons, you know, like for what you just said. And I'm not trying to sound, now people can say I'm trying to sound a little bit different than I usually do, but then again, there are other reasons why they attacked Pearl Harbor. They attacked it because not just they hate America, and they don't want this America to have the same freedoms as it does and should have for the rest of
Mhm.
eternity, but still they also attacked because in a sense we did take their oil, and like, who are we to be denied of the country to give us the gas to run our cars?
Mhm.
So again, there has to be something involved for someone else to attack first. But then
Mhm.
again, who knows? I could be
Yeah,
crazy.
but for the most part, I didn't live during World War II. I lived during the terrorist attack, the 9/11 terrorist attack,
Same here.
and I believe, and this is just allegedly, I believe that the United States did make a negotiation with the Middle East, right? Asking
Probably.
for oil and trying to get it right. And let's say this
Yeah.
happened back in the 90s. It could have been happened before that. And the Middle
Mm.
East said, no, we're not giving you our oil, you dirty, rotten piece of shit. So the United States, not happy with that, they probably conjure up a plan to go to war with the Middle East and the Taliban, and it cost thousands of lives that shouldn't even happen. But they sacrificed their own Americans just so they can go to war to steal some oil. That's it. That's it.
That could be a reason, but then again, we don't have proof for that.
We
And
don't
and
have.
as much as and as,
That's
as
why
much as I
I'm saying it's a theory,
allegedly,
allegedly.
and that's a good thing too because we don't have facts or evidence.
Uh
But
huh.
I will say this though, as much as I mean, I don't want to believe that that our government could be that corrupt. But then again, other
Hmm.
things have popped up, regards to communism too. So wouldn't so again, I shouldn't be surprised, even though, again, I'm no expert, but I do know some form of politics, of what the scheme can be from time to time.
Hmm. Yeah, and and this is something that I don't like to talk about. But when it comes to question, when you see, 9/11
But
from 20 years from
but
now, it kind of has you question, okay, what really went down?
well, it does help conversation though.
Uh huh. Yeah,
I
because
mean,
that's. Go ahead.
politics can be a root of all evil, but then again, sometimes talking about it, and just giving up your opinion and your theory can, be something. I mean, it's not like everybody can hate you in the snap of a finger.
Well, it's just my alleged theory, but But I have to call it out what it is because it sounds like a setup.
Yeah.
It sounds like somebody planned this and they said, yeah, let's do this. Let's go with plan A and plan B. And it took thousands of American lives. Even the survivors, their lives were taken away, after the attacks because of the debris of
Yeah.
the buildings going down.
Even a friend of mine that has, an uncle still having breathing problems too, and has to have a respirator, I believe.
Yeah, and the firefighters that went into that because I saw 9/11 with Mel Gibson. No, not Mel Gibson. Nicolas Cage in his character. They suffered so much in being under the tower for like a day or two, or it could be longer. I'm not sure. And people that have been under that debris for so long, they still have all that metal in their lungs.
Mm.
From the tower just falling down. Because to be honest with you, it was like I think the tower's like okay, so we're 4 hours away from we're 4 hours away from New York, okay, New York,
Right.
and the towers has been hit around like 9 something in the morning, so it has to
Right.
be 6 something our time when the towers were hit. So when I first heard about it, because my teacher brought it up, I was in the middle school at the time, and when she turned on the TV, oh my god, it was horrific. The first tower was already on fire. It was you could see people jumping off the buildings. You could hear people screaming, and they recorded the image when the first plane hit the tower. So
Yeah.
when so as we were watching, as my class was watching, we saw the second plane hit the tower. Oh my god! Like I couldn't I don't know how old you were that year, but it was like
I think I was 5. No, wait. No, I was 6. I remember that correctly. I was 6 when that happened. And
yeah,
I didn't even see anything, to be honest with you. I mean, I was probably asleep or like did it happen on a Tuesday?
yes.
Okay, I was like 6 years old at the time,
Hmm.
so I hadn't started. I don't think I started kindergarten or whatever just yet because I think that's when you start school at 6,
I
right?
thought you start first grade, but
First grade, six. Well, it all depends on where you're at, But yeah. So I rem- I remember that there was some certain change with my parents.
uh-huh.
The effects of it. Now they weren't there, but they were kind of horrified a little bit. They just didn't.
Mhm.
I was too young and to
Yeah, you're too
understand.
young to understand. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
even
know
I
anything
was
about
at
terror.
13. Even I was too young to understand it because I didn't know what's going on. I just know that it was a
Yeah.
horrible thing to watch. Yeah, as a 13-year old.
Either way, I was like 6 years old when it happened, and I didn't
Mhm.
know anything about politics or terrorism or anything like that until I was old enough to know and get the gist of things.
Yeah.
I will say though, I'm not going to say I disagree with you but then again, like entirely with certain things. But maybe in some cases in this one, I don't know if it really was a conspiracy or a plot. But what I do believe is that maybe this is just, like the Muslims' way of wanting to like start a war with us, like Japan wanted to start a war, as you just said earlier.
Yeah, I used to think that too, but yeah, I
But
think
hey, I'm not. But
behind.
I'm just giving out my opinion right here too.
Mhm.
And besides, we're all entitled to it. I mean, I'm not going to bash you for it. However, as long as you don't go by innuendos through, movies and all that to think that it was premeditated and think that, that then yeah, I won't get on your high horse for that. Because I can't stand it when someone tries to use also someone else's copyright, like someone else's content to help build their point when they can't even build up the theory or the opinion on their own. I mean, you can do that because you don't take away other people's, content or watch other people's content to help build your point.
Yeah. It's kind of like, with the Northridge earthquake, because I was 6 years old when it happened. I don't remember it because I was your age. I was 6 years old. I don't remember, a violent shaking or things falling down. I really don't remember that. But my dad said we were asleep when it happened because it happened at night. It happened, at they said it happened around like 4 something at night. And my dad said we were asleep when it happened. I'm like, we slept through all that. Like we could have heard we didn't hear dishes falling from the cabinets or anything. Like
Yeah.
That was a scary experience because people actually died during the Northridge earthquake.
Wow.
Yeah, if you and this happened back in 94. I forgot to mention that was the year before you were born.
And that was a year before I was born, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember roads being cracked and broken up, and it was horrible. And people were in buildings. As I watched it, buildings just collapsing. That was a scary. It's like Armageddon. It was just like Armageddon. But I think it only lasted for. They said it only lasted for a few seconds, but they said it was like like a 8 point something earthquake. And I was like, that is huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. Like, man, like a lot of people died, and some people died in their sleep.
Not gonna lie though, it's traumatizing too when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. But do you have any other topics you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about one thing, and that
Mm-hmm.
is, my upcoming streams I'm going to do, like the live reaction ones. I'm going to be doing a New Year's Smash Night 1 and 2 regarding AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage, which will be on my channel. And to be honest with you, there is another thing I want to do too, and that is do a live reaction of the premiere of AEW Dynamite on TBS.
Yeah.
Just as I'm doing my, AEW Rampage reactions. There is another event that I will also be reacting to that I just added on, which will happen on January 8th, 2022, and that is a special TNT, live broadcast, and it's called Battle of the Belts, where all the titles from the newly christened AEW TBS Women's Championship, the AEW TNT Championship, the Tag Team Championship, the Women's World Championship, and of course the AEW World Title itself are all going to be defended in one night, like on live television.
Oh, okay. I was trying to, wait because I want to buy tickets to the Nutcracker to see the Nutcracker for my godmom in San Francisco, and I really wanted to take her.
Well, this is taking place in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, my dad was going to get tickets for that, but unfortunately, because it was in North Carolina, and we know how some people in North Carolina can be rowdy up there. No offense to anyone that lives there. but there's some people that can be a little bit more hostile than, However, I will say though, whenever the time comes, I will attend an AEW event one of these days. But in the meantime, I'm stuck where I am of live reaction, which is fine. But one of these days, I want to be a part of one of their pay-per-views, like one of their big 4 pay-per-views, and have one hell of a time there too.
Yeah.
It's
Hopefully.
me and my old man,
Oh yeah, your old man's a wrestling fan.
He's old school wrestling fan. He watched a lot of great stuff back in the day, like Mid Atlantic, NWA back in its golden days with Ric Flair, Chief Wahoo, and even I think
Bret
even
Hart.
Dusty Rhodes, Bret Hart, and Hulk Hogan. I mean, my dad, he's actually, he knows how to actually know how a business should be run, because that's how he grew up as a fan. Because, however, the thing is, mostly, I'm actually looking forward to going to Monday Night Raw with him, which will be around South Carolina. But I will say though, it's been a long time since I've been on Raw, because the last time I was there, it was back in 2017, and I think it was the final show before, I think, Extreme Rules of 2017, I believe.
Yeah.
And the main event was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Good main event match though.
Yeah.
In fact, that was the event. That was the very episode of Raw where I started the "Let's Go Jobber" chant.
Okay.
You remember that video I showed you?
Maybe the one that you sent to me in Instagram, I guess, isn't that the one?
Yeah, that's the one with Elias Sampson versus a local competitor or whatever. Yeah, that's the one where I started the "Let's Go Jobber" chant.
Oh yeah, and WWE was trying to cut that out of the.
No, they weren't going to cut it out, because how can you cut it out? I mean, like, they don't pay attention to the fans. But then again, if you catch my drift, they know who we're chanting for, and if we don't know the name of the jobber, then that's fine. But at least I'm doing a trend and a movement right now, and I'm gonna do that if they have another jobber up there.
Hey, do
As a
your
matter
thing.
of fact, we're gonna be at ramp side.
Oh, cool! I know those seats are expensive.
And my dad got it for me as a Christmas present. Me and him
Oh,
digitally.
oh, that's nice of him.
Also, I'll be at Big Time Wrestling at the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium in Spartanburg, South Carolina for January 22nd. And a lot of big names will be there.
Man,
But yeah, it's all going to be wrestling when it comes down to January.
That's good.
And that's
the
cool enough.
Coming.
Huh?
I said the New Year's are coming in, so hopefully, we get a better,
And the best part about it is that it's going to be one hell of a wrestling month for January, because not only do we have WWE's first pay-per-view of the year, day one, we also got the Rumble. We got some specials for AEW, like its premiere on TBS for Dynamite, and we got their new Saturday night like thing they're gonna do for TNT, which I think that whole Battle of the Belts thing, I think that's like a spin-off of the Clash of the Champions, if like back when NWA or WCW would do on TBS. And personally, in my view, instead of having 4 of them planned, I'd rather, see them do like, let's see. I'd rather see them do 8 of them, because if they have like 4 other, like if they only have big 4 pay-per-views that they can only do, they should probably do 8 of those, TV specials for, certain months.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, and it's live for free on television, and it'll be starting at 7, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would probably make it 3 hours worth of free television.
Okay. So I'm gonna end the live here. Thanks for everybody that came out. I appreciate it. J Mans, do you want to say anything?
Sure. Like I just said, I'll be doing future live stream live reactions regarding Dynamite this coming Wednesday, New Year's Smash. Same goes for AEW Rampage this Friday night. And also be sure to check that out. And if you like this episode of the Diamondmine right here, give it a thumbs up. If you missed your chance to live chat, then comment down below and give your thoughts on your opinions on what we talked about on this episode. Also, be sure to subscribe to Diamond Princess if you're new to the channel, and if you can, please hit the notification bell whenever she does a video or a live stream like this one at all times. Same goes for yours truly, J Man's Legit. With that all being said, God bless you all. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and stay healthy for even better Christmas tomorrow and for a better day tomorrow as well. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Don't forget
Yeah.
to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next Diamond Mine next Sunday. Bye.